Hello, and welcome to the Nebraska Department of Education School Violence video series. Today's topic is the pandemic's impact on escalating behavior. There are 10 videos in the School Violence video series. We encourage you to watch these videos in order as school teams. However, they may be watched as standalone by individuals. My name is Heather Robbins, and I'll be your host throughout this series. Our purpose today is to describe the pandemic's impact on the overall wellness of our youth, and then to discuss the implications of this for behavior in our schools, so we can understand how this connects to escalating behavior and why we need to have an awareness of the impact. In October of 2021, the American Academy of Pediatrics issued a declaration of national emergency in child and adolescent mental health. And in December of 2021, the U.S. Surgeon General issued an advisory on youth mental health crisis that's further exposed by the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, 79% of public schools reported needing more support for student and or staff mental health. And there was a 70% increase in the number of students seeking mental health supports. 50% of children and adolescents reported feeling lonely during the pandemic. The Department of Homeland Security notes that isolation is among the risk factors for students who commit violent acts in schools. In 2021, a Centers for Disease Control survey showed that 20% of high school students said they had contemplated suicide. And during the pandemic, the percentage of adolescents screening positive for suicide risk increased. Also during the pandemic, the percentage of adolescents screening positive for symptoms of depression increased. From March of 2020 till January of 2021, approximately 53% of all adolescent psychiatric crises that led to inpatient admission were related to COVID-19 stressors. And youth reported difficulty maintaining access to mental health counseling or supportive therapies during the pandemic. It was very difficult for them to access therapy or to access support. Also, 29% of youth reported feeling disconnected from school adults, and almost as many did not feel connected to their classmates or to their community. One of the strongest prevention strategies we can engage in is to ensure that youth are connected to at least one caring adult on our campus. Students who felt close to persons at school had significantly lower prevalence of poor mental health during the pandemic, persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness, suicidal ideation, and also lower prevalence of suicide attempts. Ensuring that youth are connected to at least one caring adult is one of our strongest prevention tools. During the pandemic and post-pandemic, school leaders have reported an increase in absenteeism. Absences not only negatively affect academic growth, but also they affect social emotional development, particularly amongst middle schoolers, a formative time period for social emotional development. 84% of public schools agreed or strongly agreed that the COVID-19 pandemic negatively impacted behavioral development of students at their school, according to the NCES. And reportedly, there has been a significant increase in classroom disruptions from student misconduct, up 56% from 2019 to 2022. Also, an increase of 48% in acts of disrespect towards teachers and staff, and an increase in rowdiness outside of the classroom of 49%. Outside of the classroom, but on school campus, rowdiness increased by 49%. Why is this information important to us in terms of escalating behavior? 91% of attackers experience psychological, behavioral, or developmental symptoms prior to a school attack, according to the U.S. Secret Service National Threat Assessment Center. We need to be aware that the pandemic has increased the mental health issues facing our students and has increased the behavioral health issues facing our students and staff on our campus. And this can result in escalating behavior if we do not put into place prevention and intervention strategies to address the needs of students that have been on the rise since the pandemic. So here are some questions for your school team to consider. What do you know about youth health and wellness on your campus pre- and post-pandemic? How do teachers perceive behavior and discipline on your campus pre- and post-pandemic? What structures have you put in place to support students or staff with wellness, with behavior, with mental health? We encourage you to pause the video and take a moment to reflect on these questions. Our purpose today was to describe the pandemic's impact on the overall wellness of youth, and then to discuss the implication for behavior in schools. The pandemic has impacted our schools and our students and our staff members, and we must be cognizant that we have an increase in mental health concerns and we have an increase in behavioral concerns. There is a continuum for behavior. We want to make sure that we get in early, we put in prevention strategies, and we put in intervention strategies to support our students and staff. We encourage you to visit the Nebraska School Safety website at the URL listed on our screen. When you visit that website, you will find many, many resources for school violence prevention, for suicide prevention, for bullying prevention, and for all things school safety. Please visit the NDE School Safety website. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at our next video.